we're moving on now from the immigration period of time now to another period of time where if we didn't have it, America would not be as great as it is right now. We're going to start talking about how people tried to help the United States develop into the country we have now. Maybe it's a question you think about, maybe it's not, who knows? We think about this, or at least I think about this and go, what could it be that made this country into what it is? And they come back to one thing all the time. Imagine what your life would be like without the different things you have, without the light bulbs on the wall, without the computer in front of you, without the telephone, without the cell phone, without anything. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a period of time of invention and creation and thought. This is what we have to do. It's changing these workers that we have and changing people from these groups of people that just have no idea what's going on, what to do, what direction to go, how to work, into people who know how to work and know how to do it well and know how to do it easier, make lives a lot easier. So what we're going to start thinking about here is some things that were made at a point in time that when they were new, they were very, very helpful to people. We have a lot of different things here that we can look at. Some of them don't look like the ones that we have right now, but without them, we don't move on to where we are today. These things keep us, or these things made us really, into what we are. I know they don't look like much in this picture. Like right here, we have a movie camera. Doesn't look like a movie camera now. This you might recognize, although it doesn't look like more than a horse-drawn carriage with a motor on it. That's your first automobile. We have our diesel engine here. We have the mechanical reaper, which I know most of us probably won't know, but it does make life a lot easier here. This one kind of looks a little familiar. It's a biplane. It's the first airplane that was made by the Wright brothers in 1907. We have a telegraph, which in my opinion is the Twitter or the text messaging of its age. I know you guys don't think of that because you don't think of things back then as being actually useful. We have a cotton gin, which was useful to certain groups of people. We have a phonograph. We have a sewing machine. We have a linotype machine, a light bulb, and a typewriter, which I know most of us, typewriter? What are those? These are the things that we actually don't really use anymore, or they're not in the same type as they were back then. But without them, we're not anywhere here. I mean, like the mechanical reaper, nobody knows what the mechanical reaper is anymore. It was a machine that was made to harvest crops a lot quicker. Now we have better ways to do that. Imagine all of these things not ever being made. That would be crazy. I couldn't imagine that. A question you could ask yourself would there have been somebody else that would have stood up and made it? Would there have been another a person with another mind that would have thought to make an engine? Would have thought to make a reaping machine or something that separated cotton from seeds? Or send messages to people in a quicker manner than the Pony Express? I mean, they all have, all these 12 inventions that we have up here have something in common. And there were a lot more back then. But these are the 12 big ones. They all have that idea in common of everybody thought they were nuts. They were a person with an idea that everybody thought was crazy, that they thought would go nowhere. Most of them didn't live to see the era where their item that they invented actually became something. Some of them didn't make money off of their inventions. And we're going to get to that too in a little bit too, as to thinking about what it is that gave the person the ability to make the money off of what they've made. Because it's one thing to invent something. It's a total other thing to actually make money off it. I mean, like we discussed, we said that they all have the one or two things in common, that they have a person with an idea behind them that wants to make some money. The other commonality they have with them is everybody thought they were crazy for doing it. You imagine what people thought about the Wright brothers when they were sitting there in Kitty Hawk in 1907 trying to make that first flight. It's too nuts. They're going to get off the ground? No. We're never going to do that. And where were they 50 years later? In the air, 30,000 feet up. I mean, did anybody think anything would really come of, say, the gas-powered motor? Not really. In my opinion, most of these things were thought of as just passing phases and they would go away. But they didn't. They stuck around, and they were developed into something bigger. I mean, think about what they thought about them then, and now how we look at them now. They thought about them as nuts. Oh, well, why are you going to go and make that car when we have horses that are perfectly good at pulling the buggies around? I don't know, maybe to speed up progress. Make it where we're going faster. How about the sewing machine? Oh, well, you can do it by hand. Well, this could do that in half the time, maybe. All of these things were made with the idea of making people's lives easier in mind. Just think about that. I mean, you don't often take the time just to sit and think and go, what did it take for somebody to think of an idea like this? I'm myself personally, I am just flabbergasted at the idea that somebody would sit down and think that this was a good idea, like the light bulb. Edison is known for making a whole bunch of different things. The phonograph or the record player, which nobody knows what a record player is anymore because we have MP3 players and iPhones and iPads and all these other different music playing devices nowadays. But without that, where does this little technology come from? Like Alexander Graham Bell built the first telephone. The phone call was from 2 rooms away. Without that invention, which was, by the way, invented by accident, he was really trying to invent a way for people who had hearing disabilities to actually hear, because his mother had hearing issues. But imagine without that invention, do we have these cell phones that we have in our hands now? Is there going to be some other Alexander Graham Bell coming out there with an idea like that? Is there going to be another Edison with the electric light bulb where he took 600 different things at least to try and light up that light bulb before he got the right thing? And nobody goes, oh, I look at this stuff and I go, oh my God, it's too hard to write. Guess what? Alexander Graham Bell made hundreds of different inventions. Edison, for one invention, 600 materials, did not give up. Kept going. But my question now is, we've compared the effects of them now and the effects of them then and what they've led to. Right? We've seen that the telephone could lead to bigger and better things even though we didn't think so. The camera led to bigger and better things even though they didn't think so. The airplane. Everybody thought they were crazy. Yet 50 years later they're flying in the air. They thought DeRio was nuts for making his gas-powered car. 30 years later, Henry Ford is making them by the thousand every day. We look at all of these things and we shake our heads and go, well, man, these guys, I don't know what they're doing. Guess what? You may not feel the effects of them then, but you're certainly feeling the effects of them now. Now the question is to you, how is it that they protect those ideas? You know, when you go into the store and you buy something, would you like to purchase a long-term protection plan for that? I always say no. There are 3 different types of things that you can do to help yourself. If you're an inventor, or if you have an idea, or if you have a book, or if you have something, and I don't want you to get them all twisted up. The first one is copyright. Copyright has to do with works of literature, art, drama, musicals, music, anything like that. You get a copyright, it's protected. Nobody can use it without your permission. Second one is a trademark, and we all know what a trademark is. You look at the golden arches, you look at the swoosh from Nike, you look at the Burger King from Burger King, right? You look at all these different things, just do it. Those are all trademarked ideas. Nobody can use anything similar to that. A trademark can be on a word or a symbol or a device or something like the Apple symbol or the multicolored Windows symbol for a Windows computer. You name it, it's got a symbol for it. You can't use it. Like, for example, the Energizer Bunny for the Energizer battery, which I'm holding right in front of me right now. You can't use it. You get sued. Okay? They may be used to prevent other people from using a similar mark from yours, so there won't be anything confused. I won't buy the wrong Nike somewhere. I won't buy the wrong Reebok somewhere. I won't buy the wrong Apple product somewhere because it's an apple with a bite on the right instead of the left. You know, kind of like if you watch those TV shows on Disney at some point. Oop, I just used one. They had the Paraphone. Yeah, I think that wasn't a bite off of the old Apple because they didn't want to get sued, so they did something different. You can't use a trademark. It's registered. You cannot use it. The patent is now what we're going to get into. Because trademarks and copyrights are totally different. Trademarks and copyrights. Trademarks, word, name, device. Copyright, original works that you've written, that you've worked on, that you've sung in, a musical. You can't use it without permission. We have now patents. So all of these 12 items that we just talked about, the phonograph, the cotton gin, the telegraph, the airplane, the reaper, pardon me, the camera, the gas-powered automobile, all those things were patented ideas. I mean, you see that every day when you walk outside and you pick up a bottle, patent pending. You pick up a straw, patent pending. You pick up this, patent pending. You go to Dunkin' Donuts, get your cup of coffee in a patented cup. What a patent really is, it grants you that right to use that idea for 20 years of your life. 20 years from the date on which the application for the patent was filed. So from the minute you bring that piece of paper to the office and you give it to the guy and he stamps it, you got 20 years with that product that no one else can use it. No one else can sell it. No one else can trade it. No one else can do anything with it. Nobody can design something that looks similar to it. Nobody can make money off it. Only you. For me, I'd love to have been the guy who invented the water bottle. But hey, I'm here teaching you. Okay, so we have 20 years. It has the right to exclude anybody from using it, offering it for sale. So you can't even sell this thing. I couldn't even sell the idea to somebody without being sued. So this is your long-term purchase protection plan. Like when you buy a computer, they say to you at Best Buy, do you want to purchase a long-term protection plan? Well, guess what? If you're an inventor, the patent is your long-term protection plan. It's 20 years long. Nobody can use it. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful journey. Any questions? Let me know. Anything I can do to make it better? Add it in the comments, please. Don't hesitate. Take care.